once you live here, it's kind of hard to live anywhere else, or you always want to feel a connection to the city. New York is special in that
It is.
um, it's a very honest depiction of all the different levels of culture. One second you're trying to walk over, a homeless person or dog poop, or you're hearing different languages, and the next second you're going up to a high rise and you're meeting celebrities and affluent people, and it's just such an honest depiction of the real world. And I kind of dig that because I think it keeps you humble.
The energy, you could just feel the energy there. Like
Yeah,
there's something magical about that city.
it's intense. Yeah, it can be a lot.
Yeah.
You definitely, as an artist, I think, have to learn how to manage all the things you see and feel, because it's typically artists see and feel more than most. So you have to be careful that it doesn't, I don't know, make you unsensitive.
There's also an honesty in people in New York, right? Like people are pretty
Yes.
straightforward.
Yeah, I think there's an emphasis here in the Northeast, especially in New York City, where people give more respect to life experience over possession. I think people care more about what you're doing or your experience versus what you have, what kind of car you drive, or how much money you have. So there's definitely that sort of, like, I don't know, real idea of what good character is and what is impressive about somebody.
So,
I
do you
love
think
that.
that
I
energy
love that.
comes from the fact that everybody knows the history of New York, that it's all grassroots, with the immigrants, with Riker Island or Ellis Island or whatever? You know what I mean? Like everybody knows that it's grassroots and rich and immigrants and hard work and just bustling and trying to get the American
Yeah,
dream,
I
right?
I I think that's a good point you touched upon. Hard work. This is one of those places where if you do have some talent and you do work hard, you will create opportunities for yourself. You will work your way up the ladder. I think the city and culture definitely lends itself to that, and that is special, I think. Um, and then there's just a romantic idea of New York City, and I think because of all the immigrants who come through here, including my own family, I found out 1800s and 1900s. It's nostalgia, it's like this idea that you can create and become anyone you want. And I think that idea is still very prevalent here. I know people here who've come for that reason, all kinds of people. So yeah, it's cool.
I
So
love
cool.
Very
that.
cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you are in Brooklyn now, right? So
Mhm.
how is the energy there compared to Manhattan or anything? Is it still there? Is it a little bit more subtle? It's like a peaceful area more so you can regroup and concentrate to yourself?
It's a good question.
I mean,
Brooklyn, Brooklyn's really known for all the artists being out here. I think the artists used to be in, back in the 80s in Soho or the East Village, Gramercy Park area. And then it got more expensive. And then the artists in the 90s moved to East Williamsburg area, which is just over the water. And now that area got gentrified. So now a lot of the artists who, are still emerging can't afford to live there. So they've been pushed out even further into the direction I'm in, which is considered East Williamsburg, Bushwick. So the area I'm in is a very industrial one. There's a lot of warehouse and cement factories and just warehouses in general. A lot of environments with a lot of character, which can lend itself to a photographer. Also, it helps, in my opinion, not being bombarded by so many people on the street. So it is great to be a photographer here. And for me, as I've gotten older and come to realize the importance of not dealing with so much noise, the noise is less, which I prefer. So I'm in the city quite often, and I can leave there and be in a quieter space, which, as you get older, I think is important to kind of have that stillness. It's hard to find your own nest in New York City when you're an artist. It takes time.